Hello yet again with me and my good friend Murphy as we continue to learn about our wonderful Catholic faith. And if you remember last week we talked about the Bible, the Word of God, how important it is to have a Bible and to read it. Well, I haven't done this up until now, but this week for the first time I'm going to give you some homework, a little bit of a special assignment. Now you don't have to do it in one day, but the job is for you to think about the Bible and talk to mom and dad, talk to other family members, talk to one of the priests or deacons. But I want you to find for you your favorite Bible passage and memorize it, or to find one of your favorite Bible stories. There's so many to choose from. Now for me, my favorite all-time Bible passage is in the Gospel of John, chapter 14. And Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. My all-time favorite passage. I love that, and I think about that all the time. And one of the things you can do, that when you have that passage that you've memorized, maybe you're having a bad day, if you just think of that. And so for me, it's Jesus, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So I want you to find, it doesn't have to be just one. If you can think of more than that, that's great. But a favorite Bible passage, okay? So that's your homework. The second, though, is for you to think of one of your favorite Bible stories. And for me, I actually have so many, we don't have enough time to share them. But I'm just going to tell you two of them. As I said, there's so many ones that I could tell, but these are just two of my favorites. One is from the Old Testament. And it's that moment when the people of Israel were in slavery in Egypt. So it was a terrible time for them. And God is going to save them. And so he sends Moses. But before he does that, he has to show himself to Moses, and he does that in the wonderful moment when the bush is burning, but it's not burning up. And Moses is intrigued by how can this be? And so he goes over to look at the burning bush, and that's when he hears the voice of God. Now that of itself is dramatic enough, but the reason I love that passage is what God said to Moses. And he said these words, I know very well what my people are suffering, and I have decided to save them. I love that passage because it reminds us, it reminds me that God knows what we're going through, that he loves us, and that he's with us. So when I think of the burning bush, I think of God's love and that he's with us. The other story that I love is from the New Testament. Now, one of the things we know is that Jesus was very busy. He was always on the go, always traveling, always visiting different places and teaching. And people would flock to him. They were so excited to hear him. They just wanted to be with him. Well, one day there was a woman who had been sick for 18 years. And she went to a lot of doctors. Nobody could help her. And she probably just about was ready to give up. But one day, she was in the crowd of people, and she thought to herself, if I can just get close enough and just reach out, touch Jesus' garment, without even him knowing it, if I can just do that, maybe he can help me. And you know what? And that's what she did. She snuck up behind him and reached out and touched his garment. And something wonderful happened. She felt something come into her. And what she was sick from was gone. She was healed. And that reminds me and reminds us that we can just reach out and touch Jesus. We don't have to touch him not with our hand, but with our hearts or with our lips when we talk to him in prayer. And God will look down upon us and bless us and help us. I love that story of the poor woman who reached out and said, if I can just touch the garment, Jesus will heal me. And indeed, he did. So, those are some of my favorite stories and my favorite passage. Now it's your turn. I want you to find out at least one or two favorite passage and one or two favorite Bible stories. God bless. We'll see you next time.